Good morning. Welcome back to today's Morning Moxie with Larisa. New here? I like to share bite sized pieces of inspiration and motivation to help you jumpstart your day. I'm specifically looking at leadership, personal development, and business best practices. So I hope that you will stick around. So let's just get started. Guess what we're going to talk about today? I don't know why it is so top of mind. I actually just did a podcast on cosmopolitan leadership. And maybe I didn't get it all said because today I want to talk to you about leading with your heart and not your chin. I think that we can all come up with examples of great leaders and unfortunately, probably just as many examples of not so great leaders. For example, I supervised a property manager whom I felt did a lot of chest thumping. He just, I felt like he was a little bit more aggressive than the environment called for. And so, I mean, he was capable, but I would say capable, but not compassionate. And that the matter came up frequently, which is how I coined the term, uh, you know, chest thumping, because he was one of those. I was going to say parent. I don't know. I don't even know if he had kids. Not a parent, but he was one of those people who said because I said so, and because I said so is not. I can't think of a situation where that's ever a good answer. Definitely not in the workplace, right? And similarly, I would say that Zoom is still fertile grounds for people behaving badly. Recently, my supervisor said that we were on a Zoom call and she was not on camera. And she said, well, I was going to be on camera today, but I'm still in my pajamas. I'm hoping for, 1 o'clock I'll get dressed. And I'm thinking, we were having a meeting. So it wasn't just her talking to me. I mean, I'm calling it a mixed audience. But I just don't think that was appropriate. So I guess maybe that just speaks to her level of comfort. I don't know, or lack of awareness. Who knows? So that said, I mean, I was just suggesting that those are not shining examples of how to be a good leader. But what I really probably when the topic of leading with your heart, not your chin, more closely relates to the team that you're leading. And in that case, I would say we could start with staff development, which I feel is, right behind the company's mission and goals. I would say that staff development is number two, right? It is the very next most important thing because without the people, you're not really going to get anything done. So I think you should treat them well. So one of the things I want to start with, the most obvious probably, is treat them like adults. And I mean, by that, let's just start with the most basic, and that is providing, when you're giving an assignment or task or scheduling duties, however you want to call it, provide some context. Explain the whys and the wherefores, the big picture. How does their role, how do their actions fit into the company's goals and missions? Don't just say, hey, this change is coming down the pipeline. Hope you like it. Don't care if you don't. What does that even sound like? So just explain. You're not explaining yourself. So don't say, I don't have to explain myself to anybody. That's not what I'm saying. Provide some setup. People don't like surprises. Many people don't even like change. And so how you present that change could be critical to your success. Invite input where you can. And I would say encourage, more to the point, I would say require problem solving. I tell my staff, don't just vomit your problems in my lap. If you have a problem, I want to hear what you think the solution should be, and we'll hash it out and we'll come up with the best option. But you need to learn how to think on your feet and solve problems, because what if you can't reach me? I don't want you to guess, of course, but if you don't know something, but if there's a problem, be solution oriented. And so you want to provide an environment where your team feels comfortable doing that, and ask for their input sometimes. Because sometimes you might be stuck too. And when they say something, it kind of helps you figure it out. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Also, create opportunities to help them shine. So, depending on what the structure of your company is, there may not be a lot of opportunities to shine, but still remember that you're developing future leaders. So maybe it's something as simple as, the things that you do have control over, let them lead the next meeting, or, set up a committee, run a committee, or definitely, if there is, again, depending on your setup, maybe there's a company-wide committee that they could be on. You have meetings with your team. The company may have some new projects coming up. Maybe they want to develop their website or create some processes that would, help improve operations. So why not suggest your star team member for this committee to help put this together? So create opportunities for positive visibility. And when you can, not when you can, I want to propose that you operate with more carrot than stick. Again, these are adults, and everyone has their own life experiences, they have their own baggage. So you want to create a positive environment so that ideally your team respects you, of course, and certainly works hard to impress you, because they do, and grow. And I actually had someone say that to me, and I was like, oh. So anyway, these are people with their own lives and feelings. They're whole people, so it's more than just a job. Even though that's where you have them for the 8 hours, there's a lot more to them. So remember that when you're having these communications with your team, which kind of leads me to number 2, which is customer service. Now, when you think about customer service, you probably think of client-facing customer service, the people that you work with and or for clients. But let me go ahead and finish that thought, which is to say that when you're working with your clients and your customers, obviously you want to be solution oriented and have an attitude of servitude, which is to say you're there to help, right? Whatever the relationship is, you want it to be a win-win situation. You don't want to browbeat your vendors. You don't want to mistreat them or disrespect them, especially small companies or mom and pop shops, who may be working with you. You're paying them for a service, but well, that's on the vendor side of it. You're paying them for a service, but you still treat them with respect and courtesy, and the same with your clients that your company is serving. You want to provide solutions, but more importantly, you want to provide timeliness and excellent communications. Those are super critical to a positive experience. Now, internally, I think is where people kind of don't quite connect the dots. I think that the interactions between your coworkers, your peers, your upline, your downline, however you want to say it, that internal customer service sometimes gets overlooked. So I want, hopefully, that you will put some attention on that, because it's critical. When I'm part of a process, as it were, whatever else 100,000 things are going on behind me, I don't want to hold up the next person. If I'm step 2 in a 4 or 5 part process, I want to make sure my step is done timely, so that I'm not holding up the people who have to come after me, right? I can catch up on my work, but whenever my task is involved in a bigger picture, I want to make sure that I get mine done timely, correctly, and completely, so that I'm not holding anyone up. And if someone asks a question, my gosh, sometimes it's a little bit hard getting responses. So think about internal customer service is just as critical as external customer service. So I thought I wanted to share those few thoughts with you about leading with your heart and not your chin. Because when you figure your chin, that's kind of like a, combative stance, and that's not how you lead people. So as a leader, there are many things, obviously, that you have to keep an eye on. And do take a look at our Cosmopolitan Leadership podcast. I will leave a link in the description, promise. And so things to look forward to. things to look after as you grow and become into the leader that you were meant to be. So I hope you've taken these points to heart. Do please share them with someone who is also becoming a leader. And if you have not done so already, we do invite you to subscribe. We love to have you as part of the family, and it feeds the algorithms, keeps everybody happy. And also, for more insights and training on this, do please visit pinkpassportsociety.org. That is my community of and for Lady Mogul multipreneurs. I believe that we all should diversify our income, and so I provide training and insights on how you can grow your businesses, plural, and develop your leadership moxie as well as personal development. Lots to think about, and that is it for today, and we will see you on the next video. Ciao.